24 years ago, all World Stars unleashed that talent today. Your commentary team will be in Dark and Landon Donovan.
Looks like the top 16. Take it off. Yeah, but the thing is, it's like they're all hosted, so they're all in. Oh, yeah, artists. That's like
voy a preguntar igual si tienes
on July the 19th. A lot of people think so. Fancy going on is a high-class Senegal team whose fingers were shot away. Beating the last time in 2002. Inside the big they've done a good job of Yeah, you can actually this is the best for the first one here. This French team is did not lose in qualifying. They absolutely did not fear this French team. The seventh and final tournament of India where Sean who won the World Cup as a player and coach as well. He's quite a portfolio for them. Senegal were put to prove after that volatile in which they won on the finish. They walked off for 17 minutes in protest for the referee's decisions. That is under appeal, and I think they've got a big bit to do here. They'll definitely want to do better than Morocco, but if you saw how good Morocco were against Brazil, don't rule out the outcomes. Just getting the ball into touch. Looking around, the other side, Pedri in the corner. the year at that. Still a very, very fine investments. It's still up very high. It's beautiful. Absolutely perfect. But one thing in these games just get stepped on here. World Cup specialists.
We're on TV.
Usually,
I know she's in TV. Yeah, I was going to say.
really fallen apart, notably in 2002 and 2010, when there was a virtual mutiny against Raymond Dominic, the coach, and a lot of the players ended up being banned when they came home. Different days though. A lot of talent, a frightening one in this camp. It's laid off by Elise. It's Dembele's first involvement.
Now he's offside.
Oh my god.
Alvarado was just a little behind Mbappe, couldn't get it into his path. Man, left him.
No, he's in my mouth. Oh my god.
Too recently by the United States, who gave signs that day of becoming a former G in their opening game in the World Cup.
So many close starts. They don't know.
Chow, the Senegal coach, was saying, I know it was a shock in 2002 when I was on the bench as a player, but it wouldn't be any shock if we beat France now, because we've got a lot of world-class players. That was his pre-match message here.
He's right. You heard Thierry talk about it before the game. A bunch of these guys have played in the English Premier League.
I did. I was pareciera como si bailaran ballet. There's like a sweeper, stopper in front of the goalie. So.
Estupa Macau.
And there's the midfield.
Kunde, Barcelona. Bayern Munich.
Yeah. Right. The offense. Yeah. That's Arsenal. Unless you're like the goal. And you're really good. Because you know that's tension and time when
top players can't get into this level. Notably, Ryan Cherki was such a star for Manchester City this season.
It kind of tells you everything you need to know about the French roster. When a player of that quality can't start for a team in the World Cup.
Probably getting into every other team.
Okay. Look at these.
as they try to break down that right-hand side.
Back and forth over here.
Okay. Might be risky. Oh, the lead captain is able to pick it up. West Ham United defender, Al-Haj Malik Juf. Quite a number of assists in the Premier League. Right up near the top, second in fact among defenders for assists, particularly elevators. He was one of the few really at West Ham that came out with any kind of threat.
Just about to say, France are playing 1v1 in the back. As they press back to the field. That is very dangerous from the top of this.
Inferiority complex. There's one on the side again.
So here is just a step outside. But again, as France are pressing up the field, they're going to play 1v1 in the back. They could get punished. And Senegal's defense, they like to build. They have no issues dealing with the pressure. And if you can have little combinations like they did there, a lot of space to run into.
Coming up on Fox's, the debut of Erling Haaland, one of the world's great strikers, as he leads Norway in the World Cup, and they pay a wrap, followed by defending champion Argentina and Lionel Messi taking on Algeria. That's all coming up next on Fox quite today. If you like the top strikers in the world, with Mbappe in action here and Haaland and Messi to come. Loose area. France have dropped the corner. Chouameni to Elise. Central area where France to cause havoc, and you can definitely do that. Senegal started pretty promisingly.
France are a bit casual, and it just seems a little casual, and like they're expecting things are just going to go their way. And I would be careful. We talked about it in the pregame. A lot of upsets so far. Not necessarily wins, but teams that are getting points out of games that we didn't expect. And Senegal are much better than any of those teams.
Well, one of the big favourites, apart from France and Spain, they were up that cake that way.
Come on, man.
And part of the tendency to that is it? Pleasure. Play. I love that.
Ya pónganse a jugar. Y yo, ¿en qué momento empiezan a jugar?
Look, Bosch leads around here. He's the Mbappe. Senegal's not going into these championships. Hasn't been that great, but of course, this is where it matters. And they've got just about their full strength side out there. With players like Iliman Ndiaye, you heard from Thierry Henry, with a lot of respect, but he can come on later on.
La neta sí. No sé cómo hizo para estar 5 minutos para
Now Koulibaly, veteran skipper of Senegal. That's it to truly get going. Here's Rabiot. Now Ousmane Dembele, the Ballon d'Or winner. And for Marcano, we've only seen Mbappe enter the action really seriously once so far. And he did pull into some dangerous space, and Senegal just managed to close the door on that one.
Les falta dirigir
Is that a yard or more? That, I think, sends some red signals flashing for Senegal.
Too much space given by Koulibaly. Leaving Mbappe 16 yards from the ball, that kind of space, and lucky he's not away from Mbappe.
Mbappe, who needs 5 goals to become the all-time top scorer in World Cup history. Miroslav Klose holds that distinction at the moment with 16. Mbappe is on 12, and only 5 players ahead.
Sit down. That's really bon. À gauche, à gauche, c'est à la caméra,
Seven of the starters from the final 4 years ago. That's a lot, isn't it? That longer cycle.
It's just impressive. They just not only keep going, but then replenishing with new talent too. And that's why so many people expect that we will see them back here on July 19th.
So much talk about France's attack, and it is dazzling, but whether they win this championship might come wait the ball correctly forward.
Kind of just dripped it back in right to it. Very to it.
Yeah, we do. Bonjour, ça va?
Mbappe is finding it ominously easy from the Senegal point of view to find space around the edge of that penalty area.
I'm actually shocked by it. 3 or 4 times already. 14 minutes. He's just standing by himself. 4 or 5 yards of space for the next defender.
Free kick.
¿Qué es eso?
Might squeeze that one through.
J'ai vu qu'il m'avait débloqué ce week-end et là, je suis réveillée à 14h. J'ai une
Nice little flick ball forward for Senegal.
Michel il m'a dit qu'il ne pouvait pas, donc on attend Moi je t'appelle et tout, je fais le transit. Je commence à monter dans mon Uber qu'elle allait me mettre 1 heure pour coûter 130 balles. Mais je
Two countries will bond, of course. Senegal taking on a country where, well, the French were their colonial rulers up until 1960. And in the 4th World Cup this Senegal. Become powerhouses in recent times. This is a golden age. 2 of the players, or a few of them, got past 30 now. This might be the last dance for this particular group. Upamecano, Matuidi, now Elise.
O sea, ya cuando metan un gol ahí va a haber. Pero
France quite content to play the waiting game at the moment. Senegal's facing a ban in the next 5 AFCON games for leading his team off during that final. He says he still believes Senegal are the proper African champions, even though it's been taken away from them, but he does regret, he says, taking them off the pitch that day. It's all under appeal. But for the moment, officially, it's Morocco's championship.
What a Spanish channel! I only like the Spanish channel. Nobody likes the Spanish channel.
And so we say. An early chess match. Big crowd for a chess match.
Well, it almost already feels like a game for Ryan. Radio and Champagne were there to help put out fires. We feel potential counterattacks by Senegal, but those two are pretty deep, and then you get it. Elise, even Mbappe at times, Dembele coming into the midfield and coming deep to want to touch the ball. Of course, there's only one ball. They all want to have it. They need a little more creativity and keep those guys higher up the field. So as this game goes on, I wouldn't be surprised if one of Rabiot or Chalmeny come off for Cherki if France are not able to get a goal.
So we get back to Upamecano, seeing the low of the ball. Here they do it. Can say that about a few of these there. Saliba and Chouameni. And you say drifting out to the right now.
No.
Shot
Yeah,
blocked
see?
by
That's what I'm talking
Niakise
about.
from Ousmane Dembele.
Senegal! Yeah, see? Come on, man. Put that ball inside now. Yeah. Listen, when you end the receiver. Come on.
Teo Hernandez
Don't keep it. Let it go.
does right.
In the house.
Send it back over there. Yeah. Good.
His brothers on the bench.
Yeah, come on.
Of course, for the World Cup back in 2018, along with Mbappe. Mbappe has scored in each of the last 2 finals. Hat-trick last time in that brilliant showpiece final, which ended 3-3 against Argentina. With the pace to go
That is so disappointing. Fantastic pass. The hands there, you have to expect better there. Sorry, he's got 2 runners in the box. Just disgusting.
key factor for Senegal today. Obviously, he hits passes like that. 21 goals for Crystal Palace during the season, including 9 in their European run when Crystal Palace won their first European trophy.
Ah, mais là, je suis connectée là. Ah, mais grave, tu sais que même moi j'ai mal au final.
Every crossing was mentioned though. Putting the ball in the back of the net. Pretty good at that.
Et en fait, après, ah non, en fait, c'est pour la watch, l'official watch après dans un stade au Prince. Ok. Ah, il faut des fans. Ah ouais.
Was involved in that famous bust up
Un peu pareil que ça. Ouais.
with Valverde and Real Madrid. They both got fined $600,000 or nearly that amount.
Mais ouais, c'est pareil, c'est alors moi, Hey, Mané!
Finally, they got the middleweight champion of Real Madrid.
Il a commencé à briller, mais on va trouver la finale, c'est ici.
When Uruguay played against them, I wonder. It's the Pumas
Des matchs, c'est sûr que ça va se ramener. Dans les matchs, moi je suis vraiment
Fantastic support for this World Cup.
quoique moi j'ai vu France
All being supported by the big Senegalese community in the United States.
En fait, notre coach, il est pote avec il est pote avec
So what percent of it?
We missed the header.
Et lui, il préfère aller au vraiment, mais il a commencé à bégayer dès que j'ai dit ah oui, tu as fait. Il a dit attends, je sais pas sûr. Mané, M-A-N-E. Ça parle
Coming up towards the time for a refreshment break, though the temperature is not too intimidating here. 76 degrees.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Big goalie! You know, he's using his feet and his hands. Right? Can you actually see? Oh, okay.
Doing well.
Ok, attention.
Themselves well now. Not going to take it quickly, they have done.
Excellent again from the finals. Just look for those situations, those under-run moments where you've got to make a play. Not just stand players up, he wins the ball and keeps possession. And on the whole, we say some groups that others in the end of the road are ambitious.
Just managed to find that goal in the nick of time. They did not need that second goal. Few missed heartbeats there. Dieta. In charge here. So you've seen most things, including an amazing France game when they beat Argentina 4-3 a couple of World Cups ago in Russia. You remember that wonderful goal by Benjamin Pavard in that match. Senegal. Jackson leads away. After the
Nice play! Nice play! That's okay! Nice
Very sloppy here early. Touches getting away from him. This time, they nearly get punished for it. Ball slipping behind. And then Nicholas Jackson runs it over McCann a little under onto his left. Not just, it's a movement back there. I think he's leaning to his left. Maybe it's going far post. Really well touched. The first time on the ball, the second time on his foot.
That was that close. Manuel knew nothing about that. Absolutely, that was the only goal against him. As the ball came out, the mathematics were very much in his favour. Wow. Close run thing for France. Senegal with a corner. Feeds towards the near post. That will be time for the players to take some refreshment. 0-0, Senegal coming closest. After that opening.
Yeah, it's a little dry.
Elle demandait en mode si alors toi tu m'as tué avec la vidéo la gueule raconte là. Elle est trop non mais ta vidéo elle est raconte. My girl had it.
Maya.
I drew a
No, the gloves. The gloves.
Après, c'est vrai que ça peut marcher en termes de c'est court, tu peux mettre tout en plus. À voir. Mais en fait, il y a un truc que je vais passer pour avoir plus de choses sur TikTok et sur Instagram, c'était le même handle. Moi, c'est Hermaeva sur Insta. Sur TikTok, j'ai mis Maëros. Je suis revenue sur Instagram. Après, ma boîte est passée sur le puis il y a tout le monde. Et les gens qui restent mieux sur Hermaeva.
Senegal, Senegal have come closest so far. They caught the French goalkeeper Magic he brought a bit of a conjuring trick to keep that out after being beaten by his near post.
Well, he didn't know anything about it, but I guess Magic, yes. The angle of the post and the angle of his foot helped him, but a warning sign again, he said it before the game. Don't count out anybody in this tournament, particularly the African nations, who have shown very well. France, arrogant, a little casual, just sort of going through the motions, and you can't do that against a team of this quality. So let's see if during the break we need to shop, have some words for them, woke them up a little bit.
And I wonder if we'll see a bit of a reset by France. Very much early days, of course. A lot can happen here today and probably will.
Vraiment lent. Parle-lui bien aussi, parle-lui bien. Parle-lui bien. Surveille ton langage. Police le
Central defence here to take this.
anglais, algérien, français,
One
sa
of his
mère.
best defenders is from Lyon in France, so he's done pretty well.
J'aurais pu jouer en Angleterre.
Voilà, c'est moins bien.
Could easily play 2 in the back. He's got the speed to do it.
Comment c'est. Ça y est, les rumeurs. Il y a écrit qu'il m'a dit que au match de la France-Sénégal.
Ah, oui.
Injuries into some trouble there. Jackson, one of the French defenders, all the trouble. He's done well. He's got second again off balance and wide. But Nicholas Jackson, who is so derided in his time with Chelsea, is making a bit of a statement here. He's with Bayern Munich. He's been having fun as well. but he's showing up pretty well in this first half here.
And another turnover by Mbappe. Unforced error. And figure out what's going on with him so far. This is sloppy. Very, very characteristic.
In his 137th cap in a 15-year international career. Fit as a fiddle still plays every week in the Premier League for Everton, your old club, and the People's Club in it. Maybe a bit towards the end of the season though. Truth to be told. You can see what it is. It's Jackson again.
Pero y aquí,
What France stand on is a repeat of their performance at the last European Championship. And despite all their talent, they only scored 4 goals in 6 matches. And 2 of them were penalties. And another was an own goal. Beg your pardon. 2 own goals, 1 penalty. Same thing.
It's the biggest criticism of the shot. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with this question, but if you give most coaches and managers in the world that talent, he's so excited to go exploit it and score goals and many different reasons, but it just doesn't happen often with this French team. Really.
Giornelli. Interrupt the tempo.
Sort of in a back three in their build-up, but you see again Dembele coming deeper, Mbappe at times coming deeper. They just don't have numbers up the field to put real pressure on Senegal. It's been fairly easy so far for the Senegal back line to defend these world-class players.
Shot of Patrick Vieira, among others, World Cup winner. Watching on. Who was born in Senegal, by the way. Rabio. Making a big run from defence. And he won for headphones. Friday on Fox, the US taking on Australia. That'll be a really good game. Second game of the group stage for the US, who played so well in the first one. Coverage beginning 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Make a note of that if you want to catch that US game, and I'm sure you do.
I do.
Me too. Sarr. Amin Kamara, who was the player of the tournament at the AFCON Under-20 Championships 3 years ago. Deschamps about to go into coaching retirement in Monaco, but he can afford to live there. He got away with one really, with that Jackson shot. The shot beat him, hit the post, bounced back, hit Magnon's body, and then wow.
Good job, yeah!
Koulibaly doing well.
Yeah, nice. No.
Teo Hernandez. I would say France have got 2 more gears they could go into, at least.
Pégate, papi.
That's a foul.
Not managed to make that one rhyme either.
Who's that? Okay. All right. You can do it.
Be quiet.
I'm not one of them. Senegal. Don't be ashamed of us. Wait, El Mundo more than.
Senegal, the most western point of West Africa. Memphis teammate on his right hand side. Just about right. Is Chief Mane.
Mane!
Okay. For Villarreal, he finished third in Spain, ahead of Atletico Madrid in the table.
Una amiga igual. Estoy aquí donde estás. Yo estoy en el área del alcohol. Ahorita te
So far, the way his team's performing that track. And Senegal won in 2002, that famous game. The winner was scored by Papa Bouba Diop, who sadly is no longer with us, fondly remembered. He was nicknamed the Wardrobe, and then the FA Cup in England with Portsmouth. He scored 3 goals in the World Cup altogether. He's coached by the late Bruno Metsu. Senegal
One of the advantages Senegal has is you have the top 4 players in defense. Of course, we know that they're attacking prowess. They are world class. None of them are wanting to defend, and none of them in their club teams are actually accustomed to defending. So the longer Senegal can have the ball and push players forward and make them defend, not only does it help in the moments to score goals, but over the course of the match, just more running and energy spent defending and transforming view. That's why I'm a little surprised at how casual France have been and how careless they've been with the ball.
Coming up, here's a halftime show on Fox. Interestingly, what's here Henry thinks of his country's performances so far. Of course, and Rebecca. There's Arsene Wenger, the great Arsenal manager. He has a fairly senior role with FIFA. Been trying to get a jam here to the outside with no effect so far.
¡Presiona!
Is still down at the end of the game. The referee decided that it needs treatment. It wasn't a head injury, but it's just not that good. It's stayed on a long time. There's hope. That's not as bad as you might think.
Well, it does get stepped on there, Ian. Had that happen a number of times. It's not comfortable, obviously. My guess is he's going to be okay here, but one thing that players really need to think about is now presuming now he's got to go off the field for a minute because they brought out the trainers and the referee stopped the play. So I'm not suggesting that he's not injured, but it is going to make you think about it. If you're on the ground, you've got to be careful.
Let's bring in Mark Clattenburg on that, because this is a new thing, isn't it, Mark?
It certainly is, but the referee's made an incorrect decision. This is a foul, just looks like a penalty. The referee doesn't pay advantage, he actually doesn't see the foul, he doesn't see the step-on-step motion, and therefore it should have been a foul. Now, Senegal, because of this new rule, because the referee has stopped play, Sarr has to leave the field and play for 1 minute. So now Senegal are going to be down 10 players for 1 minute because of an incorrect decision from the referee. I wish common sense could prevail, but unfortunately we can't have common sense.
Mark, just making sure, I mean, if he obviously didn't give a foul, but if he thought it were a foul and just gave advantage, the player still has to come off the field, right?
That's correct, and that's what's unfortunate about this law, because the referee's made an incorrect decision. I wish common sense could prevail. The player leaves and then comes straight back off, but unfortunately I have to follow the rule.
1 minute.
Yeah, it really is a punishment. It really is.
And it could be important as well. Let's see what happens in that minute. Because here's Elise. There'll be a real hullabaloo. Well, Senegal are down to 10 men in the circumstances that Mark Clattenburg's just described to you. Is Desiree Doué. Players looking bemused in the white and green outfit of Senegal. Let's have a look. Handles the ball, that's what's given.
And I'm just looking down at Ismaila Sarr down here, and he's frustrated, throwing his hands up, and why can't I go on? I mean, he knows the rule. They were all spoken to him. Even though it wasn't fair, he only now finally gets to come back on the field.
Yeah, and it's just time on my watch. And a couple of seconds later, I think. Anyway, he's back there now. Maybe in that respect, the referee's blushes have been saved. Kembele, good looking ball in.
Oh, yes!
Well defended by Koulibaly. Very much the leader of that defence back there. Again, Koulibaly's the way he puts the fire out. Koundé. He's saying not really got into the game so far, not in any significant way. Dembele, good looking ball in, Koulibaly, difficult bounce for him, happy to knee up behind, wasn't that comfortable at all with that. Difficult.
This has happened twice now where the ball's been circling from that right side, and Mbappe is pulling off the center backs and sitting in the middle, sort of waiting for the ball to arrive instead of darting across the near post. He might have scored twice now. And boy, is he happy to see that go wide after his knee.
Could have gone easier. Going to get coming up on Fox the game with Erling Haaland as he leads Norway in the World Cup and Iran, followed by Argentina against Algeria, the champions starting their defence with Lionel Messi and up to the realistics, all coming up next on Fox. Goalless here, but Senegal coming mighty close. France yet to truly engage anything like Top Gear. Kamara is in a good game. Now he's made a run from a deep position, looking to get him behind. This time Upamecano stops it, but see the idea again there. Kamara's taken up some intelligent positions in that midfield. Good young player.
And look how deep Elise is here. You've just seen it. Dembele's right next to him. And the You are the Senegalese back line. They can have the ball at midfield just like that all day long. They're not going to hurt you that way.
Be interesting to see how this story develops in the second half, because France midfield must improve in what we've seen so far. This is only the opening chapter of what they hope will be a long story, but nothing's guaranteed. I think we're finding that out already. Choose to play it long. They do have the pace to get in behind with Jackson and Sarr, Senegal. France are playing quite hard too. Rabiot's done well. France is frankly in this first half been almost too bad to be true.
Now here, Mbappe running alongside Koulibaly too, and waiting for him to slide it down the channel there for him to run 1v1. Just made the wrong decision there.
Do you think they're short-sighted, just feeling the winds of expectation a little?
Can't figure it out. It comes off a bit as, you know, I don't know, maybe arrogant is too strong, but it comes a bit careless and almost like they're just kind of going through the motions. And you can't do that at this level, especially against a good team. So it's not, you know, it's not alarm bells ringing yet, but this is not what I think anybody expected to see out of France in the opening 45 minutes of this tournament.
Good group this as well, isn't it? Group I with Norway and England. Norway thrashed Italy twice in the qualification process. One of the reasons Italy are not here at these championships.
Mettez-nous les doublages français là.
Very dangerous. He's super positive every time he gets the ball. He's thinking, I'm going to make moves towards goal here. Behind, and Mbappe's looking at Hernandez and saying, I want to go to my feet, you know.
Est-ce que c'est un bon lapin?
On dirait moi si je joue au foot. Moi je tape n'importe où, c'est sans regarder.
Jude. And it's a misplaced pass. 6 minutes of other time, we're into the end of this half.
I am curious now to see what Didier Deschamps does, and will he make a change or two at halftime? I do feel like it probably, in addition to Ryan Cherki, it probably feels like a game where you put Mateta or Marcus Thuram through the middle and maybe move Mbappe wide where he's more comfortable. He likes to be highest up the field, but I think having someone occupy the center back so he has more space in these kind of spots where wide like this probably allow him more opportunity.
Sunday's ball was in keeping with a lot of France's work in the first half. They are quickly and accurate. But they do know how to win at World Cups. They do know how to find their way through and get the job done. And this is only the opening half of the first game. And again, it's made clear he doesn't want to leave Barcelona, even if they've got the idea of cashing in on him, and they do need a bit of incoming money, because they've already spent quite a lot on Anthony Gordon of Newcastle United.
Do you want to be first one?
No, exactly. Way by Niakate. He's had a good first half, him and Koulibaly back there. These two weren't in the starting lineup when Senegal played the USA. Senegal look a lot stronger for them being around. Pianta. Right back.
Let's go.
Space for camera here. Mane to play it wide to Duke. Not much pressure on the ball from France. Mane to the behind here. So Mane comes Senegal to pass it out. Lots of opportunity there for us. Much testing of luck.
The entire stadium is waiting for this to hit the net. Mane gets inside, holds him up, and perfectly the song just leans back and pumps it over the bar.
You are one finish to the first half. Lost to Victor. France and frankly, victory in the cup here. Goalless at half-time. Let's start back to Rebecca Road in Los Angeles.
Thank you very much. And there is no better to talk about whether or not France has to wake up than this guy. Next week, Pierre will have his second about what is like Captain Ibrahimovic and will get their latest on the fitness of Christian Pulisic as the US can. You're going to want to watch this one next in just a second. Jackson going the closest. We didn't have too much else going on in front of goal in that first 45 minutes, especially not from France. As we welcome you back inside our studio for the halftime show with Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Alexis Lalas. We'll get to Thierry in just a tick. Alexis, you want to kick things off with what happened then in that first 45 as France come out to try and win this thing in the stands, watching on, of course, Thierry's old manager. There he is, the boss, Arsene Wenger.
Well, what happened was an uninspired first half performance from a team that a lot of people are picking to win the World Cup. It's one thing to be methodic relative to attrition. It's another thing to be lazy and to have turnovers and to open yourself up to the counter, as happened here. Jackson off the post, if not for a heel coming off the post of Magnon, that's going in the goal again. Right off the post, off the heel here. And just lackadaisical when it comes to France. Another, right at the end of the half. Over the bar. Oh my goodness. Sarr, over the bar. Hit it far.
Thierry, in that first 45 minutes, Landon Donovan called France a little arrogant and casual. Your thoughts?
Actually, I will skip that one. I just don't get it. It's not because you are not 1-0 up or 2-0 up or 3-0 up after 15 minutes that those words have to come out. But let's concentrate on the game. We all knew what was going to happen. If people don't know how Senegal can play and how good Senegal are, that's on them. It's not an easy team to play against. We suffered in the first half. We already know that they're going to play on the counter. They should have scored one, maybe not maybe. Maybe a goal should have been there on the one of Sarr. But yeah, you know, it's going to be a long road. It's a good team.
Listen, this is the first game. I mean, the expectations for France is very high. We said it before the game. Thierry was on point on that. Senegal is a good team. They're making it difficult for France. Lex is just explaining the highlights. For Senegal, they were lucky. France were lucky with the post, and Senegal was on it.
You want us to come to the entrance?
A goal also, but it's the first game. The weather makes an impact also. I see it's very hot over here. It's not an excuse. The game is literally the same.
Okay, so again, France lucky to be at 0-0.
Thierry is not happy.
And Thierry is not happy. Messi and Argentina denied France in the last World Cup final. Later today, they begin their defence of their crown against Algeria. We'll get you ready for that one and we'll try and cheer Thierry up. On Algeria. The US are off to a dream start at this World Cup, but there are questions about Christian Pulisic's fitness ahead of Friday's clash with Australia. For more on that, here's Jenny Tass.
For the second day in a row, Christian Pulisic is participating in a modified training session behind us as he continues to work with medical staff on his injured left calf. Now, the official word today, he's day today. But remember, Mauricio Pochettino did come over and tell us yesterday he is good. Tyler Adams urging the media to relax. We're talking about Christian Pulisic. He will be available to go against Australia on Friday.
Thanks, Jenny, for our moment of the half, sponsored by Visa, as Alexi Lalas called it, Ismaila Sarr over the bar. Going far, Ismaila Sarr. Senegal unlucky not to be ahead of the break. Second half on the break.
Is David ready for the FIFA World Cup?
Thank you.
Welcome back to the New York, New Jersey Stadium. Bright sunshine here in dark alongside Landon Donovan, one of the great US players ever.
I was perplexed.
Senegal were getting us underway at the start of the half, and just like France in the first half, they went to put the ball into touch. Really, every team is doing this. Not too many extra artistic impression by the coaches. For other reasons. Let's see France pick up the pace a little. It shows what they really can do, which is quite a lot of this.
Vous n'avez pas un chargeur portable par rapport? Attends, moi je suis encore en train de...
Saliba.
Je vais à 36, ça va.
Radio.
And just to start here now, we have Elise through the middle. Mbappe sort of tilted left a little bit right now. I anticipate don't move all over the place, but Elise sort of sitting behind him there. Just a small adjustment. We'll see what other adjustments do to Champions.
With the new format where the 8 best third places can advance to the round of 32, I think you're seeing teams who are perhaps a little more happy than they would have been with a point from games.
Yeah, it does feel that way. And especially the underdogs, quote unquote, for Senegal. Clearly a point against France is a good result. For France, they need to just be careful. They're a difficult group to who knows with Norway, they rock a little bit of the unknown for these teams, but you finish second or third, and your path becomes a lot more difficult. Now France, they can beat anybody in the world, so I don't think they're too concerned about that, but they do need to be a little careful.
Yes, the shot is not far away. That's the next hit from France. Desire Doué.
Well, this is a little better from France. Upamecano, little clip ball into that same area that Mbappe was getting space earlier in the first half. Puts it on his left foot. Can't get enough bend on it, but a little bit better start there for France going forward, for sure.
Remain not far away from marking his World Cup debut with a goal. Niakate for Senegal. West Africans determined to give a good account of themselves. They did get to the knockout stage last time before losing 3-0 to England. And the World Cup before that was involved in an amazing finish to their group where they had an identical record to Japan in every respect and went out first team ever because they'd got more yellow cards in Japan. Now that's what you call unlucky. Koulibaly with Theo Hernandez over there. Elise. Idrissa Gana Gay knows all about his threat, and he can bite into the challenge and break up the play, which is why he's won so many caps for so long. That was spelled with Paris Saint-Germain for 3 years earlier on in his career before returning to Everton. 3rd World Cup for him, along with 6 AFCON championships. Chouameni and Upamecano, that's a good ball through the lines, that's better. Dembele and the flag's going up for offside.
And that time they pushed Jules Koundé much higher. They brought Dembele wide on the right. Not offside by the way. But that was also a little better. It caused Senegal a few problems there.
By the way, France had 1 shot in the first half. It was blocked, the fewest in any first half
since World Cup records began for France back in 1966. And Kylian Mbappe had 14 touches, the least of any player on the pitch.
And importantly, he only had one in Senegal's box. And look, I know I heard Henri at halftime and wasn't happy maybe about arrogant comment, but the reality is they were very poor in the first half, and you kind of just have to call them how you see it, because they are a much better team than they showed. They've been much better to start the second half. And I know Senegal are a good team, but everybody expects a lot more from this French team.
Keith to Sadio Mane. Senegal somewhere will engineer just one opportunity for Mane to use his finishing ability, which of course is considerable. Sarr doing good work again. Kamara, he's going to have a decent play on, and the break's on now for France. Doué to lay it wide. And then Mbappe. Senegal defence gets the foot in. Just for a moment there, it looked like Sarr was in.
All or nothing from Saliba. What a fantastic challenge.
Mbappe has scored 42 goals for Real Madrid this past season, but was booed by the Real Madrid supporters who rather questioned his commitment to the club. And he went away on holiday during a period when he was injured. Very difficult season, of course, for Real Madrid. And Mbappe's got 40 goals plus both seasons he's been there without winning a major trophy for them. Mane dispossessed. An opportunity. Big save by Edouard. Great chance.
It really was, and Koundé does a good job there poking the ball away. Elise in space. Touch is perfect to get it out in front of him. Mendy makes himself big, just gets enough of it to deflect it over the bar.
That is phenomenal goalkeeping from the former Chelsea man. It really is. At least the results on there. France beginning to show what they can do. And Mendy's got spreading the buses to Sadio Mane. He was to play 40%. As France built that attack.
You see, right at the time Elise is going to strike the ball, Mendy keeps himself so big, closes down all the different angles that Elise has to hit. Fantastic goalkeeping.
More great players coming up, Ellen Carlin featuring for Norway when they take a round later on Fox today, and Argentina with Lionel Messi against Algeria, the national tour coming up next on Fox.
This has been a good response from France after halftime. They clearly weren't happy with how they played the first half. A little more intensity, a little more pressure, creating some turnovers, and their biggest chance of the game came from that.
Because it was a result for them really to go in goals at half-time. Senegal had 2 big opportunities. The press going on by France here. Down again, found a very good ball though. And there goes the speedy Sarr, who shoots him. Who has some credit those two.
was on through, they just got their wires crossed. Mbappe wasn't expecting it, but at least it's gone.
It's a tense affair here in this hotly contested group. It's going to be Group I. We thought that when the draw was made, looking at the quality of the sides. The movement of those two is causing the French defence problems.
Sar's been so good in so many areas, and just technically he's letting himself down a little bit. With the cross, the shot at the end of the half, that one just a little too much on it. But he's found himself in great spots and he's creating a lot of trouble for the French back line.
Scan the QR code on the screen to vote for the Senegal Ultra Superior Player of the Match. And a chance to get involved with what you think he should do. Jackson again. Picking the third score, but Mendy is emerging here as a Senegalese hero in the second half. It is the goal time for France now. This is a different France. It's always going to be in the second half, I think.
Well, Edouard Mendy is certainly making his case for the man of the match. That's a much better first half from Mbappe. Gets it out of his feet, just can't get it far enough away. And again, Mendy making himself really big in the important moment to keep that man off the score sheet.
Two massive saves. Senegal now are being asked some far more serious questions. Either way, it's coming straight back again. 2-8 forward, not that accurately though. Senegal playing on the counter, but they're well equipped to do that. With two pacey tracks up front. Here to stop the play. Decision was instant. Deschamps is arguing with the fourth official. Well, check this out again.
Watching the slow motion, I'm not sure
What do you think?
When you see the certainly not a problem because I don't believe the but when the tackle goes in and Mbappe anticipates the contact, and I don't believe that this is enough for a penalty kick. If the defender clearly takes the Mbappe's leg and it's a
holding that position back in the left back position. Of course, Mbappe's trying to make his case, but he didn't look, watching the pictures, as if there was any contact at all.
Not a penalty.
Not a penalty.
Well, they told him to go away, sorry.
Still waiting for the official verdict on this. Our screens was just saying check, possible penalty. Mark, any more to say on it?
yeah, what I get frustrated with the referee is there's a delay here, maybe 20-30 seconds. Why does the referee not go to the screen and have a conversation with the player you are? And then let's see the time as well, because now the referee is doing it there because the VAR believes that the referee's made a clear and obvious error by not awarding penalties, which I disagree with, by the way, because I don't believe that there's enough contact here to award a penalty kick. I believe that the VAR would come and just made a clear and obvious error. I think the referee should work the screen over and they can have a conversation and see if they can agree on even more.
Well, you know the way this ends, normally, how lucky is that you come in,
Yeah, you know, it's just his left leg is his left leg kind of down so the monitor. It hooks the back of Monitor's right leg. Slow it down pretty much very fast, but feels hard to get it.
That's a much mistake, let's see. Al-Siri from Saudi Arabia. Something you'd like to see happen more often, but it almost never does.
Yeah, and that's the question. When you see the left foot just put on it, to be carried that way, it probably did impact the strike.
That's one for the debate, isn't it?
It certainly shows that they are shooting it on because this wasn't sure how this happened. You know what? This is what's good about football. This is a debatable decision. This is what actually stay on the field and play. And I like a referee who actually sticks with his guns and doesn't just always do what the VAR gives. So justice has prevailed for me.
Well, that was our impression when we saw it. We couldn't see any kind of contact at all. France, of course, will take a different view and give it a Deschamps. But the feeling is justice has been done.
Well, you can hang that one in the lid. Yeah, that is really rare that that happens.
He's still admitting it. He's saying, hang on a minute, that was the best to make it. Penalty. Why didn't you?
Well, he's the referee.
He would say that, of course. But it's a brave decision too.
Very much so, and a really careless tackle by Sadio Mane. You cannot put yourself in that situation. It's a bit fortunate there.
They're using up a few lives here, Senegal. Two wonderful saves by Edouard Mendy, their goalkeeper, and then that VAR decision going their way. It remains somehow goalless. Pat Gay, Al-Haj, Malik Jr. and this is between him and Mane there. He's very much the man in the spotlight. As I say, third World Cup, his seventh World Cup match, so he's been there and done it.
And here's the look from his view. I can actually see from there why he doesn't give it. It doesn't look like there's a bunch of contact. And again, when you slow it down frame by frame, but I give him a lot of credit.
There's kind of a feeling here in this big game that something's got to give soon. It's one of this good by Man now. It's taking player up, too late. Oh, lovely.
Here, Lisa, she's the defender coming, just turns inside. The timing of this is excellent, and I cannot tell you how good this is for Mendy. You have Kylian Mbappe running at you, convinced he's going to touch it by you, but stays strong enough in his planting.
Meanwhile, Sarr at the other end has been a real problem for the French defence all day and should have scored at the end of the first half.
Just back to Mendy, he just stays strong enough and firm enough that he can get back down to his right. You see a lot of goalkeepers go left there and try to time it to win the ball as Mbappe gets a touch, but able to get back to his right and keep that from rolling into the net.
Germany. Ray's causing a few problems on that left-hand side, going through his party tricks. Such quick feet. Mbappe, Doué, it's this time. You say. Felt it coming in, a much better start to the second half. Certainly than the first half. Mbappe was a little slow to get going in the first half, but his time goes well. Elise, the Voltaire is the top of that. A fantastic ball, slid out. Left side, a full volley. The timing of this as it comes for Mbappe to just swing his hips and bend it around and bend it over the far post. 1-0 France in the second half. Absolutely deserved to really start this second half. This is 13th World Cup goal, and with that goal, he's equalled Olivier Giroud's French record of 57 goals for his country. And he also did the flute celebration. Now I noticed another crosses by request of James Corden. And this midnight show is a must watch for World Cup fans. Surprised he remembered him in the mayhem of a World Cup match. Senegal. Break here, and we all need to take a breath, but France are everybody.
La formule, ça commence encore. Ils l'ont fait arrêter de jouer. Quel pays de base?
suitably refreshed. Although it's only about 75 degrees here today. France leading Senegal by a goal to nil, and you knew who was going to get it. Kylian Mbappe, who now is joint fourth in the all-time World Cup plus list. He equals his spontaneous countryman on 13, and Lionel Messi was on 13 as well. He's now ahead of Pele, ahead of him. Ken Muller, Ronaldo, and Miroslav Klose. Koundé was inside, Elise, Koundé deflected. Elise going a bit slower. Well, I said France had a couple more gears to engage. I think they've engaged them.
Absolutely. Again, this is the France we all expected to see. Elise has been at the heart of everything they've done in the second half here, and you give Mbappe too many chances, you are going to pay. And Senegal has. And let's just see now, can Senegal do enough, create enough to try to get back into this game? It's a tall task.
But they have had opportunities. Here's Juve.
You know, you said it, Ian, right before halftime, or right during halftime, that they're going to rue some of those missed chances. And when you're playing a team of this quality, a team like France, you can't miss chances. You do it, and you're going to pay for it. And they're going to want at least one of those back, certainly as many as ones.
Without wishing to bombard you with statistics, France are unbeaten in their last 26 World Cup games when scoring the first goal, going all the way back to 1982 when they lost 3-2 to a very good Poland side. Just as Andy was telling you, it is a pretty steep mountain they have here now. Which goes a long way, but nowhere near any of the white shirts. Koulibaly is up there, who has scored in the World Cup before against Ecuador. He's second in all of that. Absolutely. Yeah. I know, it's so funny. So this second half is becoming pretty much a France show.
Dewey gets it under his left foot. That slight deflection you can see just made Lenny think about it a little bit. You just said the mountain is steep to climb, and the reason why is France are tough enough to play when you're not losing. Once you're losing, you have to push forward, and the field opens up a little with the talent they have. Those guys in space are an absolute nightmare, as you just saw with Dewey.
Lamar is about to come on, one of those players from Senegal, and just sticking up in midfield a little. France dominating in that area, and at the moment, most others too. Defence that time. A very fine game. The former Chelsea man out front. Is going to come off. Ibrahim Mbappe, 18-year-old, I hope he'll be a breakout star. He made his debut against Brazil in November, plays for Paris Saint-Germain. And quite a bit of action. Kamara off, and there is Mbappe to take his place. With little white lines under the scoreline, top left of your picture, do you know how many substitutes each team has left?
So the Senegal goes down to 3. You'll get the idea. Took me a while. Are you surprised they've taken Saar off?
A little bit, yeah. He's caused all the problems today. I'm actually a little more surprised not on Njai comes in. And I'm also surprised that France has made no substitution. Very unique. Again, one or two subs in the 7-7.
That was the man who's just come on, Habib Diarra, showing the pace to get back in. He need a bit of pace to try and catch up that way. In 1 minute there. That was 80,505 just been announced. Somebody counted it right down to the 5. Left with this time. Diarra was pulled up for a final package and I can't believe it. Never works out for Kylian Mbappe when he goes to the European Championships. Remember, he entered in the first game of the last Euros, played in a mask for the rest of the tournament. France didn't fire. The World Cup very much is staged. Elise might be on the header, bouncing around dangerously in there. Is in by the youngster. Talk about a baptism of fire at the World Cup, going in against France in this situation. Pressure's off now, isn't it?
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting with Senegal. How hard do you push to try to get something out of the game versus saying, look, we assume everyone in this group is going to lose to France. The goal differential factor comes in, and we're going to lose 2 or 3 now. Tough one to tell to see how they're playing.
Don't tell me they're going to lose to France.
I said we assume. Yeah, we assume.
Juve, good ball. Oh! Judy Jackson again. That was a thing of beauty, that cross from Juve.
Wow, and this is a massive chance. Jackson just slides behind Upamecano in between the 2 center backs, he and Saliba, and just leaning back. You can see it come off his foot, almost off his ankle there. Big chance there for Nicholas Jackson.
France going to make their first substitution from Bradley Barcola. Looking at Mohamed Saint-Germain, who's fast and direct, sometimes a little bit wasteful as well. Truth to tell, but he can come out with 11 league goals and 2 in the Champions League this past season. Paris Saint-Germain, who retained the Champions League trophy, of course.
Sometimes he's a little bit wasteful.
Friday on Fox, the US taking on Australia in their second game, and they build on that great performance first time out. Coverage 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and that is on Friday. Saliba for France.
Je pense pas.
And despite that pretty poor first half display by France, they will regard this as a drop. So we say the big players are starting to play now.
Lève-toi, plus tard.
Mrs. Bunker's this has stayed down for a while after that challenge. Looks okay. Mane. Now Pate. And they're going to go home with the points.
And this is the danger of opening yourself up. Rabiot turns into the midfielder, Bubbles pulls wide, leaves a space for Rabiot to run into it. Massive gap between the center backs of Senegal. Mendy again making himself big, not big enough. Just as he lunges, slides his foot under the ball. 2-0 to France.
It's a cute finish, isn't it, Landon?
That was tough. That was real tough.
Just a little dink over the goalkeeper. And Didier Deschamps and all the French fans can relax now. What a moment it is for Bradley Barker. Just a couple of minutes after coming onto the pitch on his fourth international goal. There are stories he's on his way out of Paris Saint-Germain. But that's another story, isn't it?
C'est grave pour la France. C'est pas grave, mais bon. En fait, moi, c'est ça, il faut pas être décourager. Non, mais ils vont passer les huitièmes. Le groupe, il est pas bon. Avec nous?
One of those to make the coach feel good, isn't it? Make the substitution, a minute or two later, he's got a goal for you. Easy.
I mean, it's the reality of this French team. You've got a guy like Bradley Barker who's not starting. Right? You've got Matete on the bench. Yeah. Ekatike didn't even make the roster due to injury. They just have an embarrassment of riches, and you can defend them well for long stretches, but in the end, their quality has definitely shined through today.
Yeah, I haven't even seen Cherky today, or Mateta, or Turan. It's an embarrassment of riches. But they're going to create, aren't they, in every game, probably at least half a dozen big chances.
Look, I was critical of them in the first half, and I think they deserved it, right? But this is why, is they have this ability and capability, and we want to see it. As fans of the game, we want to see it. There's so much quality.
And you can grab onto that, but there's a different feel here now. Senegal looked to threaten this game for quite a long time, but France have taken over in the second half, and they're beginning to exploit the spaces. He's in the middle now. They're going to take it back. I just was running. Mbappe, by the way, now level with Michel Platini for major tournament goals for France. 14 each. That includes the European Championship as well as the World Cup, of course. Desiree Doué. Do you know what? I think the key moment in this game was that big chance for Ismail Assad just before half-time.
Right.
Gaping opportunity not taken, and you just had a feeling that France would make Senegal pay for that.
If you want any chance of beating a team like France, those have to go into the net. And you're just not going to get many of those.
Norway back in the World Cup. That means Erling Haaland of Manchester City, one of the world's great goal scorers, is in action when they play Iraq. And that'll be followed later on Fox by defending champion Argentina taking on Algeria, which will feature a guy called Lionel Messi.
So good already. We're still yet to see Messi play. Erling Haaland play. Cristiano Ronaldo play. Harry Kane and England play. It's just going to get better and better.
He's down, and comes Ryan Shirky, who's a maverick talent. Picked for Foden out of the Manchester City side. And with 12 assists in the Premier League, and 3 more in the Cups as well. He's an outrageously talented player. Here he is on the ball now.
You know, I've been listening to Thierry Henry talk a lot about Michael Olise. And this is the first time I've seen him play live and in the flesh, and he is so impressive. His movement, his quality has just been so fun to watch. And you can see why he gets on the field with all the attacking talent France have. I think he's been the best player on the field. Of course, Mbappe will get the plaudits, as he should, but Olise has been excellent.
Cease. About to come into the midfield from his 22nd FIFA Senegal. Just a gun again is the player that's gone off and that's the leg switch by Senegal. The first pair of legs goes on. And Senegal will have to get the points they need somewhere else, because they're not getting any from this one against France unless there is the most dramatic of endings. Battling away on the end. This for Lorient in France.
The timing and running of both French goals today, the quality of the pass, the timing of the run and the finish, been absolutely fantastic.
They're going to take some stopping, aren't they? They really are. I think a few defenders are going to wake up screaming in the night, thinking about facing France.
Particularly if you're Norwegian or Iran. You know, we'll see what happens with Iraq and Norway tonight. That this group has the makings of so much quality. Senegal are very good. France have just been better in the second half. All of these games are going to be really entertaining to watch.
And they can still rescue the situation in the last couple of games in the group, Senegal. And Norway and Iran still to play. They have a corner kick here. We take him at Al-Hajj Malik Jouf. Another back into the danger area. And Shaki looks to get the next attack underway. The danger is in trying to press for a goal to get this back, just like you said, man, once or twice here, that they just say, look, we'll take the 2 and try to build from that, not have too much more damage to our goal difference column.
And I know it's a strange thing to say, but it's just the reality. It's the reality of playing in tournaments, as we see 8 minutes of stoppage time added. They just need to be careful here, because a third goal could mean the difference between advancing and not, and the other results go in that group.
Eight minutes is going to be added on. He's Mane. Lovely ball. She's going to pick it up again. Looking good today, the Senegal left back, taking the eye here. Elisa. Jackie. Now kembali. Diangkat. Ball back. France in no particular hurry to launch the counter this time. And Elisa believes it was fouled and has been. Elisa is not one for doing a lot of showbiz and stuff outside the game. Isn't it too many interviews? But he's confident, and I think he kind of knows just how good he is. And the answer to that is he's very good. He's going to be in.
So many attacking players on this roster. And of all the chances created here, he's been involved in 6 of them, which is double any other player in that really talented French team. Just been so fun to watch.
Come a long way since he was playing for Reading. He's down returning to work in England and in Crystal Palace. Great players. But it doesn't tell the whole story. Gareth Bale's in town as well.
We'll try to golf with him.
Yeah. Well, that might even be a match. You're pretty good.
He has no idea who I am.
Oh. I bet he does. And you play off 5 now? Pretty good. I wouldn't give any give me lots of shots. Time to spring away. Niata, Giant out there now, having come off the bench. Whether he might get the start in the next game. Here's Rayan Cherki. Ola was in acres of space. Had he managed to find him, he would have been more or less through it on goal. Lisa's on the chase here. Koulibaly to get it away. He's on drive.
Catches my tongue off balance. 3 minutes to go, you never know.
Perhaps guilty maybe just switching off a little bit coasting. And that was just going to easily beaten by the youngster. And then the goalkeeper, somebody just said that. He's not a real happy with that. Punching it into his own goal. It was right.
As Mbappe outswing his critics in Madrid, isn't it?
It's so bizarre. In his first 5 or 6 out of his first 8 touches were just very uncharacteristic of him. But man, the quality that he has really came through in this second half. And if he's on that kind of form, watch out, everybody else.
Just when Senegal thought they might be able to rescue a point out of this in improbable circumstances.
There was so much I wanted to say right after their goal, but it just didn't matter. Maybe they had a chance to get back in it. Even now losing by 1 goal helps them, and all of a sudden that man puts the game to bed.
But no one went home early from this. There's a missed quite a finish to this game. Really innovative from Meccano. Equally Mbappe, over on the far side is down.
He got hit in the face there. Maybe just taking a nap at the end of the game. The World Cup.
Ah, pero podemos hacer una aquí.
That's nothing much for Mbappe. He's been carrying a bit of an injury a lot of the later stages of the season. That's his second goal, which puts him joint third on the all-time World Cup goal scorers list. I think he's going to break and become number 1 on that list by the time we're through here in the United States, Canada and Mexico.
Certainly wouldn't bet against it. That's great. That referee was so great. The child was so frustrated that he hit the ball. The referee did a fantastic job letting the play go on. He needs to push back. As this ball comes in, it deflects. And just as he jumps on the way down when the ball comes over and brings it up to his hands.
The teenager Mbappe scoring the Senegal. Some second half here. France really wake up in that second half. They win by 3 goals to 1.